Buddy, sorry we're late again today. That's the way we run here. Um, I'm Lana with the Uintah County Heritage Museum. So let me fix my hair here a little bit. I'm kind of just combobulated today. Today we're going to talk about Eva Stewart Ashton. What a wonderful lady. There is so much to tell about her, but I'm going to just focus on one part of her accomplishments. So let me turn this so you can see her beautiful face here in a picture that I have. There we go. All right. She's a beautiful woman. She was known for her gorgeous raven black hair. So, let me get my things in order. So she was born in a dirt roof and floor cabin in Jensen, Utah. She's the daughter of Henry, Hank, and Minerva Van Wagner Stewart. Soon after her birth, the family moved to Price, Utah, and then purchased a ranch in the Argyle Canyon. That's down in the 9 Mile Canyon area. If you've ever been down in that area, it's a beautiful place. She has a brother, Rex, and a brother, Van, that come after. There was the 3 children. It's not known for sure where she attended elementary school, whether it was in Price or in a rural school in 9 Mile Canyon. I couldn't find really any records, and in the article I have from the journal, the Outlaw Trail Journal, that the History Center put out, we couldn't find this. Her daughter Grace has been sending stuff, or her granddaughter Grace, I believe it is, has been sending stuff to the History Center, information, and some items here to the museum that belong to Eva. And so we're excited to have that. She helped her father become associated with the Outlaws, and her mother divorced him. So that's unusual to have a divorce that early. Her mother remarried, and so did her father. But Eva helped raise her 2 young brothers, Rex and Van. She was a wash person. She done laundry to raise money. She spent time with her father in Willow Creek Ranch in the Book Cliffs. If you've ever been in that area, that's another beautiful place. She was one of the first lady stagecoach drivers. She would drive she was 17 years old, and she drove stage from Mighton, Utah to Wells Draw, and sometimes back. She put herself through college with no family help. One of the jobs she held to do that, she was one of the first telegraph operators in 9 Mile, and she did graduate from BYU in Provo, Utah. She was also one of the first teachers in Willow Creek area, and she chose to go back to that area to help the youth there. Eva married Ray Ashton on May 20th, 1919 in Roosevelt, Utah. She was a member of a lot of civic, social, religious, political, educational committees. She's a member of the LDS Church, a member of the Chamber of Commerce. She was on the board of directors for the Utah Heart Association. She was a Women's Advisory Council for the State of Utah Civil Defense, Community Concert Association member, Eastern Utah Chairman, Crusade for Freedom member, the Knife and Fork Club of Uintah County, and many, many, many more things. But what I want to focus on today is her membership in the American Legion. The American Legion is a wonderful institution. You can learn more about that if you're not sure what the American Legion is all about. She qualified to be a member of the American Legion. Her husband served in World War I. Her 2 sons, she has 2 sons, they both served in, let me start here. So this was written up in the American Legion auxiliary post publication that they have. This is when she was being nominated to be president of the American Legion, but let me just read what they wrote about her for her candidacy for that. Mrs. Ray Ashton, through her years of experience, has become familiar with all phases of the American Legion and auxiliary programs. She has the ability, above all, the sincere desire to serve. Her administrative experiences as head of one of the largest retail mercantile establishments in Utah. Her patriotic, religious, and civic activities have given her complete understanding of working congenially with others. As evidence of her devotion and the decision, we have to accept the endorsement of the Department for the High Office of National President of the American Legion Auxiliary in preference to an appointment by the governor of her state as a member of the Board of Regents of the state university. Her eligibility is based upon the military service of her husband, the late Ray Ashton, in World War I, the service of her two sons, a lieutenant in the Navy Air Force and a lieutenant in the Field Artillery, both served in World War II. Her two brothers also served in World War II, and all veterans of her family are Legionnaires. Eva Ashton has an outstanding record of service in American Legion Auxiliary, which goes back to 1923 when she became a member of the Whitbeck Unit Number 11 in Vernal, Utah. This is no longer, I don't know if this is still in service or not. She has served well with her unit, district, and department. Among her varied activities in her department is her contribution to Girls State. I know they still do Girls State program. She served as counselor for 4 years, 1 year as assistant director of Girls State, and 1 year as acting director. Following her term as department president, she has served in the national organization in the following capacities: National Executive Committee Woman Member, Constitution and Bylaws Committee, National Vice President, Post-War Planning Committee, Chairman War Activities Committee, Vice Chairman for the Child Welfare Committee. She served that for 2 years. Chairman Publication Committee, she served on for 2 years. Also the National Security Committee, and she was also 2 years as chairman. And chairman of the Americanism Committee. Chairman of the National Rehabilitation Committee. For 15 consecutive years, she has served as membership chairman of her unit, which is the Whitbeck Unit Number 11 here in Vernal. Eva Ashton's experience, along with her ability to gain and hold the respect of all who knew her, qualifies her to lead our organization. She will bring the luster of charm, dignity, and graciousness to the leadership of the American Legion Auxiliary. She has the unanimous endorsement of the American Legion of Utah as well as that of the Auxiliary. So, what a busy woman. I can't believe all of that and how she served. I always say the American Legion and the Auxiliary serves their country. They never stop serving. 1935, she was an active officer of the American Legion Auxiliary for the state. In 1943, she was elected the National Vice President of the Western Division of the American Legion Auxiliary, attending many national functions. And then in 1952, she became the American Legion Auxiliary's president. And she toured during that year from 1952 to 1953 when she was president. She toured 48 states, Panama, Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, receiving the world recognition and publicity. When she come home to Vernal, and I'll read this, I find this fascinating, and there's pictures you can see, I just didn't get them done. With fanfare and loud as acclamation of a queen, Mrs. Ray Ashton of Vernal. So this was after her husband had passed away. Her husband died in let's see, where did I put that? Her husband died, well, now I can't find it. Oh, I guess I didn't bring it. Her husband died about 10 years before she did, so about 53, I think he passed away, and she passed away in 1962. But she, with fanfare, wearing a red cuffed cap like a crown on her graying hair, Mrs. Ashton was escorted to the platform of the Commodore Hotel by her sons Stewart and Ralph. The drum and bugle corps of the Legion's Department of Utah blared out Utah Trail and two military airs. In her acceptance speech, Mrs. Ashton thanked God that she had been born an American. She urged women to play a more important part in the country's affairs, to save America from communism, socialism, and ruinism. Mrs. Ashton introduced her two sons to the 1,000 delegates who elected her unanimously to head the 972,000 members of the auxiliary. When she returned home in September to Vernal, she received a grand welcome and reception. The Hill Air Force band played a concert before Eva. The mayor, Henry Millicom, and the National American Legion commander, Louis K. Gow, simultaneously threw the three switches that led up the New White Way in downtown Vernal. These roads, main streets between 2nd East and 5th West, and Vernal Avenue between 1st North and 1st South, was lit up. They used these gas lanterns to light them up. The switches were in the Uintah County building, and she rode down they had the parade route, and she rode in a car wagon thing down the thing, and everybody commended her. It was just awesome. She continued to serve her community. She died at her home November 14th in 1962. The Vernal Tabernacle was filled with friends and dignitaries. Sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off. The year after she died, I was saying the Vernal Tabernacle was filled with friends and dignitaries. Flowers completely covered one end of the building, and Dr. Darrell Chase, president of Utah State University, eulogized Eva, saying that Americanism was the keynote of her life. I forgot to mention she served on the board of the school. She worked with the attendance records, that kind of stuff. The year after she died, a memorial rose garden was placed in honor of the campus of College of Southern Utah at Cedar City. It is called the Trustee Eva Ashton Memorial Garden. Tribute was paid to the work accomplished by Mrs. Ashton in promoting a new 4-year program for the college. Virginia Ashton said, Eve was the epitome of the American dream, going from a dirt-floored cabin to being feted around the world. There's so much more to learn about her. I didn't mention all the work she done with her husband and Ashton Brothers stores. You only think of the store in Vernal, but they had other stores around, Roosevelt and etc. And then as the families changed and the dynamics changed, they ended up with the last one in Vernal. We will be talking about that as another date. So I hope you want to learn more about her and learn more about the American Legion and what it does for us and our community. We will see you again next week. Thank you for watching.